Welcome back, everyone, to Saltwater Stories.
We're so glad you could join us again.
We're always excited to uncover some of the ocean's most amazing secrets with you. And, well, today is definitely no exception.
Absolutely. And today, we're not going way down deep into the darkness.
Yep.
Nope.
Where are we headed?
We're going right up to the top, to that shimmery, glittery surface where the sea meets the sky. It's bright. It's fast.
Oh, that's the perfect spot. Okay, picture this. You're near the shore, maybe on a calm, sunny day, and suddenly, zip, a flash of silver.
So fast you almost miss it.
Exactly, like a living silver dart just skimming across the top of the water. It barely looks like it's in the water sometimes.
It really is the champion speedster of that surface zone. I mean, this creature is incredibly fast, and it has this super unique shape, really pointy.
So pointy and so quick, it can actually launch itself right out of the water. We're talking speeds that, well, they're seriously fast.
Like racehorse fast, but from a fish leaping into the air.
Okay, so have you guessed yet? Think sharp, think silver, think fast.
Any ideas?
Today, we are exploring the absolutely incredible needlefish.
That's the one. Scientists call them the family Bolanidae.
And our mission today is to figure out everything about this living arrow. We're going to look at, well, why its bones are green.
Which is super weird.
Totally. And why it doesn't even have a stomach. Plus, some amazing secrets about how its babies grow and even how it uses light, like actual physics, to hunt.
It's going to be fascinating.
But first, before we get into all the science, let's start with a story. It's a great reminder that just being fast isn't always enough.
Ah, is this the one from Micronesia?
That's it. It's a fantastic old tale called The Fable of the Crab and the Needlefish.
Oh, I love this one. So you've got the needlefish, super proud, maybe a little bit boastful about its amazing speed.
Definitely boastful. And then you have the sand crab. You know, crabs, kind of slow, shuffling sideways mostly. Humble.
Right. And the story goes that the needlefish just couldn't resist teasing the crab every time it zipped past the shore.
He'd say things like, "Hey, crab, still moving. You're so slow, the tide's going to leave you behind." You know, that kind of stuff.
He's constantly bragging. And the crab, well, the crab got tired of it.
Fed up. So one day, the crab challenges the needlefish to a race right along the coastline.
The needlefish probably laughed its pointy beak off.
Yeah.
A race
Oh.
against a slowpoke crab.
Accepted immediately, of course. But the crab was clever. Speed wasn't its strength, but brains. That was different.
So the crab had a plan, a sneaky plan.
Totally sneaky. That night, the crab gathered all its friends, tons of crabs that looked just like it, and placed them all along the race row.
Hidden just under the sand, right where the race would go. Clever.
Very. So the next morning, the race starts. Whoosh! The needlefish takes off like a silver rocket.
Leaving the poor crab way, way behind at the starting line. Not even close.
The needlefish is speeding along, absolutely sure it's winning easily. So sure, in fact, it decides to pause and, well, gloat a little.
Naturally.
It stops and calls back, "Hey, crab, you even started yet? I can't even see you."
And then, plot twist. Just a little way ahead of the needlefish, one of the hidden crabs pops its head up and says,
"Right here, needlefish. Actually, I'm ahead of you."
imagine the needlefish's shock.
Yeah.
And oh, it's anger.
Furious.
Yeah.
Impossible. And it just pours on the speed again. Faster, faster, faster. Fins burning, probably.
Pushing itself to the absolute limit. Then it stops again. Even more sure this time. Crab, show yourself. Where are you?
And again, further down the beach, another hidden crab answers, "Still here, still ahead. Keep trying, needlefish."
Oh, the needlefish must have lost it then. Pride completely shattered, not thinking straight at all.
Nope. All logic gone. Just pure, desperate speed. Faster than ever before, using up every bit of energy.
And in one final, furious burst,
It leaps, but it's so blinded by rage and exhaustion.
it misses the water entirely.
Completely. It gets its long, sharp beak stuck right into the trunk of a big coconut tree by the shore. Thwack.
Ouch. Stuck fast. And the clever crabs win the race.
It's such a great story. Speed is amazing, but smarts and, a little humility, that's what really counts sometimes.
A good lesson to keep in mind as we investigate this fish. So let's start with the name. Needlefish.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious, right? That super long, skinny, pointy jaw looks just like a needle.
Exactly. It's the defining feature. And the science name, Bolanidae, actually reflects that too.
Bolanidae. Where does that come from?
It's from ancient Greek. The word bolani literally meant needle. So even way back then, people recognized that defining pointy shape.
That makes sense. I've also heard them called long toms. Is that common?
Yeah, that's a common name in places like Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people call them darfish. But Uh-oh, that name causes problems.
Her problems. How?
Well, garfish was the original name for the European needlefish. Ballone comes from an old word for spear, which fits.
Okay, so far so good.
But then, when Europeans went to North America, they found different fish in the rivers. Big freshwater fish, also with long, pointy snouts.
And they just called them gars, too.
Exactly. But these North American gars, the ones in the family Lipisastidae, they're totally different. They're ancient freshwater fish covered in tough scales like armor, not closely related to our ocean needlefish at all.
So two completely different types of fish ended up looking kind of similar with that long snout.
Precisely.
Yeah.
A perfect example of something called convergent evolution.
Convergent evolution. What's that like?
Think of it like, okay, imagine you need something that can fly. Birds evolved wings. Bats evolved wings. Insects evolved wings. They all solved the flying problem separately, converging on a similar solution, wings.
Okay, got it.
So here, the problem was maybe how to effectively snatch quick little fish near the surface. Both the marine needlefish and the freshwater gars evolved long, pointy snouts to do that job well. They converged on the same shape, even though they aren't close relatives.
That's actually really cool. Evolution finding the same answer twice.
It is. But it also shows why using those scientific names, like Bolonidae for needlefish and Lipisastidae for the freshwater gars, is so important. Just calling them both garfish hides that amazing separate evolutionary story.
Right. Keeps things clear. Okay, so Bolonidae are our needlefish, but they're part of an even bigger group, right? Their family tree.
Yep. They belong to a whole order of fish called the Boloniforms. And this order is basically the club for fish who specialize in living right at the surface of the water.
The Surface Specialist Club. Who else is in it?
Oh, some really famous members. Let's start with the flying fish. Their family is Exocoetidae.
Flying fish, everyone knows them. They jump out of the water and glide.
Right. They do way more than just jump. They are masters of gliding. They shoot out of the water super fast, maybe even faster than needlefish sometimes, like over 40 miles per hour.
Wow.
And then they spread these huge pectoral fins, the ones on their sides. They're shaped just like wings.
Like little airplane wings.
Exactly. And they use them to glide over the water surface.
Yeah.
Not just for a second either. They can glide for hundreds of feet.
Hundreds of feet? Seriously?
Seriously. Sometimes over 1,000 feet. Staying in the air for, like, almost a minute if the wind is right. It's their main way to escape predators like tuna. Just vanish into the air.
That is incredible. Okay, who else is in the Boloniforms Club?
Next up are the half-beaks, family Hemorrhanthidae. And they look, well, kind of quirky
Half beaks, why half?
because they have this really long lower jaw, like a needlefish. But their upper jaw is super short and stubby. It looks like someone stopped building the beak halfway through.
Huh. So what's the point of just half a beak?
It's perfectly designed for how they eat. They cruise right at the surface, and that long lower jaw works like a scoop.
A scoop? For what?
For skimming tiny little floating things off the surface plankton, little insects trapped on the water. It's a totally different way to live at the surface compared to the super fast hunting needlefish.
Neat. Okay, one more relative.
Yep, the sauries. Family Scombrosocidae. These guys look a lot like needlefish, long, thin, silvery.
So another speedster.
They're pretty streamlined, yeah. They often travel in huge schools out in the open ocean, eating small stuff like zooplankton or little squid. They're really important food for bigger fish out there.
Wow. So that whole group, the Boloniforms, the flying fish, the half-beaks, the sauries, and our needlefish, they all figured out different ways to be awesome right at the ocean's surface.
Exactly. Gliders, scoopers, schoolers, and the ultimate speed predators. It really shows how the needlefish perfected that speed and stealth approach.
Okay, let's focus back on the needlefish itself. You called it the ultimate speed machine. What makes its body so perfect for speed?
It really is like it was designed by an engineer. Think about making a race car or a fast boat. You want it to slip through the air or water with as little resistance, a little friction as possible.
Yeah, you want it smooth and pointy.
That's the needlefish. Its body is incredibly long, thin, almost perfectly round like a cylinder. We call that shape fusiform or streamlined.
Like a torpedo.
Exactly like a torpedo. That shape has a very, very low drag coefficient. That's the science term for how easily something moves through fluid, like water.
So low drag means it doesn't take much energy to go fast.
Precisely. It slips through the water super easily. It can accelerate like a rocket and maintain high speeds without wasting a lot of energy.
And they come in different sizes, right? Does the shape work for big and small ones?
It absolutely does. You've got tiny little needlefish species that are only about an inch long, maybe 1.2 inches, little darts.
Wow, tiny.
But then you have giants like the houndfish, which is also called the crocodile needlefish, Tylosaurus crocodilus. These guys can get huge, easily over 3 feet, sometimes even over 4 feet long.
4 feet? A 4-foot-long living spear swimming that fast. Yikes.
Yeah, imagine that coming towards you. But it's not just the body shape. The fins are key too, and they're placed in a really interesting way.
Okay, fins, where are they? Not like on a normal fish.
Not really. Most fish have fins sort of spread out for turning and maneuvering, but the needlefish has its main stabilizing fins, the dorsal fin on top, and the anal fin on the bottom push way, way back, almost right next to the tail fin.
Far back, why put them there?
That's the genius part. Think of it like an arrow. What keeps an arrow flying straight after you shoot it?
The feathers on the back?
Exactly. The fletching. Those back fins on the needlefish act just like fletching.
Oh, so they keep the fish stable when it's going super fast.
You got it. When the needlefish uses its powerful tail for that burst of speed, those rear fins stop the body from wobbling side to side. All the energy goes into moving forward straight and true. Maximum efficiency.
Okay, so the fins stabilize it. Where does the actual power, the swimming force, come from?
It uses a swimming style called anguilliform locomotion.
Anguilli what? Sounds like eel.
Exactly. Anguilla is Latin for eel, so it swims like an eel instead of just flicking its tail fin like, say, a tuna does.
Yeah.
The needlefish makes big S-shaped waves that travel down its entire long body from head to tail.
The whole body wiggles. Doesn't that seem inefficient?
It's maybe not the most efficient for cruising long distances, but for short, incredibly powerful bursts of speed. It's amazing. It uses all the muscles along its entire body for that explosive acceleration.
Ah, so that's the secret to hitting those crazy speeds.
That's a huge part of it. That whole body whip is what lets it launch out of the water at speeds up to, what did we say, 37 miles per hour?
37 mile per hour. That's like car speed for a fish jumping.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Totally. Okay, speed is one thing, but living right at the bright surface means you need to hide, right? Camouflage must be super important. You called it an invisibility cloak.
Absolutely essential. And the needlefish uses the classic, most effective trick in the book, countershading.
Countershading, like 2 colors.
Yep, 2 tones. Dark on top, light on the bottom. It's all about confusing predators looking from different directions.
Okay, so if a bird is flying overhead, looking down.
It sees the needlefish's back, which is usually a dark greenish or bluish gray color. That blends right in with the darker color of the deeper water below it. Poof. Hard to spot.
Okay. And if a bigger fish, maybe a shark or a dolphin, is underneath looking up.
Then they see the needlefish's belly, which is bright silvery white. That reflects the bright light from the sky and the shimmery surface. So against the bright background, the fish kind of disappears into the glare.
Wow. Protected from above and below at the same time. Smart.
Very smart. But wait, there's more. Their camouflage is even fancier than just color.
Fancier? How? Something about light magic.
Kinda. It's about polarized light. Their scales have these tiny special structures inside them.
Polarized light. Isn't that what fancy sunglasses block? The glare?
Exactly. When sunlight hits the water surface, it doesn't just scatter randomly. A lot of it gets organized or polarized in a specific direction. That's what causes that intense glare on the water.
Okay.
Many animals that live near the surface have eyes that are good at seeing this polarized light. It helps them cut through the glare.
So predators might be looking for shapes using polarized light.
Could be. But the needlefish's special scales reflect this polarized light in a very specific way. It makes the fish shimmer and blend in with the complex polarized light patterns of the water surface itself. It's like advanced optical camouflage.
Seriously, next level stealth.
Okay.
That's the outside. Let's talk about the inside. Because you mentioned green bones.
Yes. Get ready for this. Many kinds of needlefish literally have bright green, sometimes even bluish bones.
No way. Green bones. Is it like, are they sick?
Haha, no doubt at all. It's completely natural and harmless. The color comes from a pigment called biliverdin.
Biliverdin. What's that?
It's a substance that's actually common in animals. It's one of the things produced when old red blood cells get broken down and recycled. In humans, it gets turned into bilirubin, which makes bruises look greenish yellow sometimes.
Huh. So why do needlefish have so much of it in their bones? Does it do anything?
Scientists aren't totally sure why it collects in the bones specifically. One idea is it might just be a side effect of their super fast metabolism. They're constantly active, burning energy, recycling cells quickly. Maybe they just produce more biliverdin than other fish, and some of it ends up staining the bones.
So it's not a superpower, just a weird quirk.
Pretty much. A very cool, very green quirk. But that's not even the weirdest thing inside them.
Weirder than green bones. What is it?
They are missing a stomach.
Wait, what? No stomach. But they eat other fish, whole fish sometimes. How do they digest without a stomach? Don't you need stomach acid?
It seems impossible, right? But it's all about that need for speed and a streamlined shape. A stomach, especially a full one, takes up space and adds weight and bulk.
Ah, so having a stomach would ruin their perfect torpedo shape. It would create drag.
Exactly. Evolution basically said, let's ditch the stomach to stay super skinny and fast.
Okay, so how do they digest?
They have a superpowered enzyme called trypsin. It works directly in their intestines, right after where the stomach would be.
Trypsin. So that breaks down the food instead of stomach acid.
Yep. It's really good at breaking down proteins, which is mostly what fish are made of. So the food goes straight to the intestine, the trypsin gets to work immediately, and digestion happens without needing that bulky stomach.
Wow. Sacrificing an entire organ for speed, that's dedication.
It's an amazing adaptation.
Yeah.
All about efficiency and that streamlined form.
Okay, now we know how they're built. Let's talk about how they use that build to hunt. Time for the hunter and the high flyer.
Right. So needlefish are definitely carnivores. Specifically, they're piscivorous, meaning they eat fish.
What kind of fish mainly?
Mostly smaller fish that also live near the surface in schools. Things like silversides, killifish, maybe small anchovies. They'll also grab shrimp or other crustaceans if they get the chance.
Makes sense. Hunt what's nearby. Do they have different ways of hunting?
They seem to have a couple of main strategies. Let's start with strategy 1, the sideways swipe.
Sideways swipe.
Yeah. They use that awesome camouflage and their patience. They'll stalk a group of small fish, getting close, then bam! Explode forward with that eel-like body power.
But they don't just bite head on.
Not usually. It's probably easier to catch a quick little fish by snapping at it from the side. They use those long, tooth-lined jaws like super fast scissors. Clamp down.
Gotcha. Snagged it sideways. But then how do they swallow it? Fish can be floppy.
Good point. Once they've caught it, they have to maneuver the prey in their jaws until they can swallow it head first.
Ah, head first. Why is that important?
Think about a fish's fins and scales. If you try to swallow it tail first, the fins might stick out and get caught in the throat. Swallowing head first lets the fins fold down smoothly. Much easier to gulp down whole.
Okay, that makes sense. Sideways swipe, then swallow head first. What's the other strategy? The fancy one?
Yes, strategy 2, the magic window ambush. This is where they use physics.
Physics. How does a fish use physics?
By understanding, or at least exploiting, something called Snell's window.
Snell's window. Sounds like something from a magic show.
It kind of looks like it. Imagine you are underwater, maybe in a calm bay, and you look straight up. You don't see the whole sky spread out evenly above the water, do you?
No, it's more like a circle of light.
Exactly. A bright, clear circle directly overhead. Through that circle, you can see the sky, clouds, maybe trees on the shore. The whole world above the water is compressed into that one circle. That's Snell's window.
Okay, I can picture that. What about outside the circle?
Outside that circle, looking towards the surface at a shallower angle, things get weird. It's all distorted, wavy, blurry. Or you just see reflections at the bottom or things underwater.
Right. The edges are weird.
Very weird. Now, imagine you're a little fish near the surface. Your main danger from above comes through that clear window, right? A bird diving down.
Yeah, you'd watch that circle carefully.
But you probably wouldn't pay as much attention to the blurry, distorted edges. And that's where the needlefish attacks from.
No way. It hides in the blurry part.
It launches its attack from a low angle right through that distorted edge of the window. Because the light is bending so much there, that's called refraction, the attacking needlefish looks warped, maybe broken up, maybe further away than it really is to the prey looking up.
So the little fish doesn't see it coming clearly until bam.
Exactly. It's like visual camouflage provided by the physics of light itself. The needlefish appears suddenly out of the distortion right at the last second. Super clever.
That is seriously cool. Using a window in the water to ambush prey? Okay, hunting is one thing. What about all that leaping? The leap of a lifetime. You said 37 miles per hour. Why do they jump so much?
It serves a bunch of purposes. The number one reason is probably defense and escape.
From what?
From predators hunting them underwater, bigger fish like tuna or mackerel. If something starts chasing a needlefish, its instant reaction is offered to bolt to the surface and launch itself clear out of the water.
And the predator underwater just loses it.
Totally. The hunter can't follow it through the air. By the time the needlefish splashes back down, maybe seconds later, it could be yards away in a different direction. It breaks the chase instantly.
Smart escape tactic. Any other reasons for leaping?
Yeah, sometimes they seem to use it for hunting. like an aerial attack.
They attack from the air. How?
Scientists have seen them leap over a school of small fish and then kind of dive bomb down onto them from above. It gives them a different attack angle and might cut off the prey's escape route if the little fish try to jump out themselves.
Wow, attacking from the third dimension? What else? I heard they can kind of skip across the surface.
Yes, that's called skittering or sometimes sculling.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. The fish gets most of its body out of the water, holding it stiff and streamlined,
Yeah.
and then it uses just the lower lobe of its tail fin, whipping it back and forth really fast against the water surface.
Like paddling with just the tip of its tail while the body flies?
Exactly. It propels itself across the top of the water like a skipping stone, but under its own power. They can cover quite a distance like that.
Why do that instead of just swimming?
Maybe it's faster for short bursts, good for escaping shallow areas quickly, or maybe just for getting over things. They also use simple leaps just to clear obstacles right at the surface, like floating logs or tangled mangrove roots, without having to slow down and swim around them.
Leaping over stuff. Okay, let's move on to their life story. A story written in life. It starts with the eggs, right? And they're kind of special.
Very special. Needlefish eggs are pretty big for fish eggs, and they're demersal, which means they're heavier than water. They'd normally sink.
But sinking might be bad, right? Muddy bottom, things down there that eat eggs.
Right, so they need a way to stay up in the warmer, safer surface waters where the adults live. And they have a brilliant solution.
What is it?
The eggs are covered in these long, thin, sticky threads. They're called filaments or tendrils. Think of it like natural Velcro.
Velcro eggs.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
When the female lays the eggs, these sticky threads immediately tangle together and latch onto anything solid nearby.
Like what?
Floating seaweed is a big one, or blades of seagrass growing up from the bottom, or the complex underwater roots of mangrove trees along the shoreline.
Ah, so the eggs don't float, but they stick to things that are floating or anchored near the surface.
Exactly. It creates this perfect little anchored nursery. The eggs stay safe from bottom feeders, get lots of oxygen in the moving water, and stay warm, which helps them develop faster. Usually they hatch in about 10 to 15 days.
Cool. Velcro eggs. Okay, what happens when they hatch? You mentioned a secret. The half-beak secret.
This is one of my favorite parts.
Right.
It's like watching evolution happen in fast forward. When the baby needlefish, the larvae, first hatch, their jaws are short and roughly equal length. Pretty normal looking.
Okay.
But very quickly, something amazing happens. The lower jaw starts growing much, much faster than the upper jaw.
So it becomes really long on the bottom, but the top stays short.
Exactly. For a while, the baby needlefish looks precisely like its cousins, the half-beaks. It enters a distinct half-beak stage.
Whoa. Why would it do that? Why turn into a half-beak temporarily?
Because that half-beak shape is the perfect tool for what baby needlefish need to eat. They're too small and slow at first to chase other fish.
So what do they eat?
Tiny floating organisms, plankton. And that long lower jaw works perfectly as a little scoop to skim these tiny bits of food from the surface water, just like the adult half-beaks do.
So it's like they're using the family's evolutionary past. They use the old half-beak feeding style when they're small and need to eat plankton.
You got it. It's a direct link to their ancestors. They literally relive that evolutionary stage.
And then what happens?
As the juvenile needlefish grows bigger and stronger, the upper jaw finally starts to grow faster and catches up with the lower jaw. Eventually, it forms the complete, long, symmetrical beak of the adult needlefish.
And that's the signal. Time to graduate from plankton scooping.
To becoming a high-speed fish hunter. It's a beautiful example of development reflecting evolutionary history.
That is fascinating. Okay, these fish are clearly adaptable. Where do they actually live? What are their needlefish neighborhoods like?
They are global travelers, basically. You find needlefish in tropical waters and warmer temperate seas all around the world. Atlantic, Pacific, Indian Oceans.
Mostly saltwater then?
Mostly marine, yes. They love coastal areas, bays, estuaries. And they are incredibly adaptable to different salt levels. We call that being euryhaline.
What?
Euryhaline. Eury means wide, haline means salt. So they can handle a wide range of saltiness.
Ah, like in brackish estuaries, where rivers meet the sea and the water is a mix.
Exactly. Places where the salinity changes all the time with tides and rainfall. Many needlefish thrive there, and some take it even further.
Further, how?
Some species are famous for traveling way, way up into freshwater rivers, hundreds of miles from the ocean sometimes. The Atlantic needlefish does this.
Wow, visiting freshwater.
And some groups have moved into freshwater permanently. There are whole genera, like Xenantodon in Asia and Potamoraphis in South America, that live their entire lives in freshwater rivers and lakes, completely cut off from the sea.
So that super successful needlefish body plan, that long shape and hunting style, works just as well in freshwater rivers as it does in the ocean.
It really does. Shows how effective that evolutionary design is. They've conquered all sorts of aquatic environments near the surface.
Okay, this brings us to our relationship with them, sharing the sea. And unfortunately, sometimes that involves danger.
Yes, and we need to be really clear about this. Needlefish are not aggressive towards humans.
Mm.
They don't attack people like a shark might.
So injuries are accidents.
Always. They're accidental collisions. But because needlefish are so fast and have that incredibly sharp, rigid beak, these accidents can be very, very serious, even fatal sometimes.
What causes these accidents? How does a collision happen?
The main problem is light at night. Needlefish have a strong attraction to light, something called phototaxis.
They swim towards lights.
Yes, very strongly.
Yeah.
So imagine someone fishing from a small boat at night, using a bright lantern or maybe a headlamp. That light draws needlefish in. Then maybe the boat noise or a sudden movement startles the fish. What's its main escape instinct?
Leap fast.
Exactly. It launches forward, out of the water, at potentially 30, maybe even close to 40 miles per hour, with its beak pointing straight ahead like a spear.
And if someone is in the way,
If a person happens to be in the path of that leap, the impact can cause deep, penetrating puncture wounds. It's a serious hazard that people who spend time on the water at night in the tropics know they have to be very careful about.
that accidental danger actually connects to another amazing story, a legend from Singapore, right? The swordfish attack.
Yes, the legend of Singapore Delangor Tidak is a very old and important story, maybe from the 14th century.
What does the legend say happened?
It tells of a time when the coast of ancient Singapore was being attacked, not by human enemies, but by hordes of fish leaping out of the sea.
Leaping fish attacking people.
Yes, the story calls them Tidak, often translated as swordfish. But historians think it was almost certainly large needlefish, maybe houndfish, doing their leaping behavior. And people living along the coast were getting injured, even killed. The king's soldiers couldn't stop them.
So how did they solve it?
A clever young boy named Hang Nadim came up with an idea. He realized fighting them directly was useless.
What did he suggest?
He told the king to build a barricade along the shoreline, not out of hardwood, but out of the soft, spongy trunks of banana trees.
Banana tree trunks. Why?
Because they're soft and fibrous. When the needlefish leaped out of the water at high speed,
Their beaks got stuck.
exactly, they impaled themselves in the soft banana trunks and were trapped. The attack stopped, and the village was saved. Brilliant thinking.
That's amazing. Intelligence wins again. But the story doesn't end happily for the boy, does it?
No, tragically it doesn't. The legend says the king became incredibly jealous of the boy's cleverness and popularity. He worried the boy might become more powerful than him one day.
No.
So the king had the young boy executed on a hill near the coast.
That's terrible. Just for being smart.
That's a dark part of the legend. And that hill, the story goes, is still called Bukit Merah today, meaning Red Hill, supposedly named for the boy's blood that was spilled there. It's a powerful story about wisdom, but also about jealousy and caution.
Wow. That's quite a legend. Okay, let's shift from ancient legends to modern science. Needlefish are actually helping us now, aren't they?
They are, in a really interesting way. Scientists are studying their genes.
Their genes. Why? What are they looking for?
They're looking at the specific genes that control how their bones grow, particularly how the beak becomes so incredibly long. And they're also looking at similar genes in their cousins, the flying fish, that control how their wing fins get so big.
Genes for extreme growth. How does that help humans?
Because understanding the genetic switches that turn on and control this kind of extreme but very precise bone growth in fish can give us clues about human conditions where bone growth goes wrong.
Like what?
Like rare conditions such as macrodactyly, where a person's fingers or toes grow much, much larger than normal. Studying the fish genes helps researchers understand the pathways involved and could potentially lead to ways to help people with these kinds of growth disorders.
So understanding the needlefish's perfect spear shape might help someone with bones that grew too much? That's incredible.
It really shows how interconnected biology is. We can learn so much from studying the diversity of life.
Okay, fine. We need to talk about protecting the silver arrows. Are needlefish doing okay?
Generally, yes. Most species are listed as least concern in terms of extinction risk, which is good news.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
There is. Because they live right at the surface and often close to shore, they are very vulnerable to human impacts on their habitats. Habitat loss is a huge one.
You mean like destroying the places they live and breed?
Exactly. We talked about those sticky eggs needing places like mangrove forests and seagrass beds to attach to. When those coastal habitats are destroyed for development or damaged by pollution, the needlefish lose their nurseries. No safe place for eggs means fewer baby needlefish.
That makes sense. What else affects them?
Plastic pollution is a big problem for surface dwellers. Floating plastic bags, bottles, cups. Needlefish can get tangled in them or mistake small bits for food. Remember that sad picture you mentioned?
Yeah, the one trapped in a plastic cup. Awful.
It's a direct threat. They live right where a lot of our trash ends up. So the health of needlefish populations is actually a really good indicator of how healthy our coastal waters are.
So what can we, our listeners, do? How can we be ocean guardians for needlefish?
There are definitely things everyone can do. First, reduce plastics. It's huge. Use reusable water bottles, bring your own bags to the store, say no to straws if you don't need them. Every piece of plastic kept out of the environment helps.
Okay, reduce plastic use. What else?
Clean up. Even if you don't live near the ocean, participate in local cleanups along rivers, streams, or parks. Remember, almost all waterways eventually lead to the sea. Keeping your local area clean helps protect ocean animals like needlefish down the line.
Good point. Every little bit helps.
And finally, share knowledge. Tell people what you learned today. Talk about the green bones, the half-beaked babies, the amazing leaps, the magic window trick. When people know how cool and special these animals are, they're much more likely to care and want to protect them and their homes.
That's a great call to action. Inspire others with the wonder.
Absolutely. What an amazing creature we've explored today, the needlefish.
Seriously. We learned it's way more than just a fast fish. It's like a living torpedo with green bones, no stomach, built-in optical camo.
Descended from ancestors with half a beak, and it uses physics to hunt. We tracked it from a tiny egg stuck to seaweed.
All the way to a high-speed hunter mastering that line between water and air.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
I might.
Just imagine the sheer biological power, the muscle, the energy efficiency needed for that fish to launch itself at nearly 40 miles per hour over and over again.
Yeah, all the incredible things we see in nature, those big dramatic actions, they're all fueled by so much hidden energy and really brilliant biological design.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of the incredible needlefish today. We really hope you enjoyed the journey.
We certainly did. See you next time on Saltwater Stories.